Well, I'm not expecting too many changes in the team. I think we're going to see a lot of the faces we are used to, especially the team that played in the more recent friendly games that we saw them play against Nigeria, and so we see a lot more of that. There's also conversation that he wants to move the team forward from the more older players to a new crop of young footballers. We'll see if that conversation holds any truth. But basically, the more reason why I don't think we're going to see so many new faces is because the old faces we know already have performed so well this season with their respective clubs. We've seen Kudus, we've seen Semenyo, we've seen Iñaki, we've seen, the family of Jordan Ayew has performed well with Crystal Palace. Andre Ayew has performed well with Le Havre. So it's very much going to look like he's going to be calling players who are in some great deal of form coming from their clubs.
Thank you. You always say that makes it more difficult in the transition because the old players you would expect them to retire.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one for every coach. When your older generation are still performing very well, it's difficult to say you're overlooking them. But sometimes, as a coach, you need to be bold enough to say, yeah, we see what you are doing, but just maybe it is not what we want now. We still want to trust the younger generation, give them the experience now, so that the next year or two they are ready to win the AFCON. The next year they are ready to win the AFCON, because even though they are performing well now with their age, I'm not sure if they will be good enough when the AFCON comes around early next year. So it's a difficult situation when you have your old lads playing so well for their clubs. It's very difficult for the coach to just say that because they are old they are not going to be called. It's always based on how good they are. So yeah, it's a tough one for the coach, but I think he has to find a way of finding the balance. I don't think it is proper to shift the old guard, all the old guard out. It has to be a blend. You need to move some on, still keep some around to bring leadership, experience, and what have you.
We have our players perform very well for
Yeah.
and when you say we're expecting Otto Addo to at least make sure that these boys, when they are playing for the national team, perform very well, especially the fact that we have two important games.
Yeah, it's always been the case. We've seen a lot of Ghanaian footballers play so well for their clubs, but when they turn up and pull on that Black Star shirt, they look completely different from the players we've seen them with their clubs. And I have a feeling that the reason, again, is also because when it comes to the Black Stars, they are not necessarily played in the same way they are played or used in their clubs. So, for example, when Antoine Semenyo plays for the Black Stars, he's often stuck out there as the sole number 9. When in his club and where he's flourished, he's bounced off the number 9, because in Bournemouth, Dominic Solanke will be the number 9. He'll come off the wings or he'll play in behind them. But in the Black Stars, he's been asked to do what Dominic Solanke would do. So the thing with the national team is we need to start playing players in their more natural and comfortable positions. Inaki Williams has never made a cut in the Black Stars, because when it comes here, he's a number 9 or an isolated wide player. But in his club, when he's playing wide, he's not isolated. A lot of bodies are around him to help him play. And when it comes to the Black Stars, that doesn't happen. And the examples are many. Thomas Partey returned from injury. He's been brilliant for Arsenal. Had a great number of games coming to the end of the season. But when it comes to the Black Stars, it's a different ball game altogether, because when he has the ball, everybody is very far away from him. Whereas in Arsenal, when he has the ball, there is Odegaard, there is Rice, there is fullbacks or centre backs are close to him. So the coach now has to develop, and it's difficult for the coach as well, because you cannot look at how every single player in the Black Star plays in his team and want to design a game to suit all of them. But you need to now analyze the strength of your best players and design a team or a system that accommodates their strengths and then, of course, covers their weaknesses.
Let's end it with the Lions team play some exciting football. We've seen under 20 play
Yeah.
some exciting football. Will we say Otto Addo needs to at least play something similar to that based on the DNA they have?
No. I mean, that would be harsh. Typically, you'd say yes, but factually or fact-wise, it's not possible, because these under 17 players and these under 20 players are still in the formative stage. It is easy to coach them into playing with the new DNA. Now, when this under 20 team reaches the U23 and the Black Stars level, we'll be expecting them to play with the FS DNA. Andrea, Jordan, all the boys who are playing now in the Black Stars, they've already picked their game model and their game style. So Otto Addo is not necessarily going to be retraining their game model to suit the DNA. What the Otto has to do now is to make the most of the pool of talent available to him. But when we are able to transition our under 20 well, transition our under 17 well into the Black Stars in the next couple of years, we can then expect them to be playing with the football DNA. So yeah, I wouldn't be too harsh on expecting Otto to play the football DNA. But Otto's background in coaching has been the Dortmund way. The Dortmund way and the way the football DNA has been said to be aligned is not very far off. So we can very much see some similarities, but I'm not sure it's going to be cast in stone, stronghold, strongly Ghana football DNA now at the Black Stars.
Well, I'm not expecting much changes from his last squad, but I'm not expecting Thomas Partey, some minor changes. I'm expecting just let's say 80% of the squad he called the last time, so I'm not expecting a major change.
Uh, is there some players that you believe were not part of the initial squad that should be involved?
Thomas Partey obviously is coming back after missing the last squad through injury. He's going to be there. I also feel because from what I'm hearing that Razak Abalora has helped Petro Club got they won their first trophy in how many years, and he was the goalkeeper of the season in the league. I'm hearing that he's coming back, which is very good, good news. I'm also expecting another, call up from what do you call it, Ibrahim Osman. He was called up last time. He just played few minutes. This time around, I'm expecting him, Abdul Fattah Isaku, to start very well and be involved, not come as a cameo. And because I feel as Otto Addo is now the coach and he's now given authority to say, okay, you are now the coach, do whatever you want. He will try to build this team around the young players instead of the old players or the senior players. So I'm expecting the players that were called last time that didn't feature well to actually have a big role in this particular World Cup qualifiers.
And there have been instances where there's been rumor that Otto has picked some senior players and have said for them.
Okay.
There's some few senior players that you think it's time for them to go and join. Do you think it will be easy for Otto to do that?
Well, he has to be extremely careful with that because it's World Cup qualifiers and you need experience. And if you are trying to phase out the old players and bring in new players, it's a good idea. But he shouldn't make it so glaring that, oh, this team is too young, we need experience. We should blend them. For example, if you are playing defense, an experienced centre back should partner with, a young defender coming up to balance it. They complement each other. The wing backs you can use the young players there because pace is needed in modern football. Then in the midfield it will be a blend of experience and young players. That's why we have Thomas Partey there. Should partner with Kudus or whoever he wants to partner. Then the wings is where I expect the young players to flourish because we know how football is now. We need pace, we need skill, we need players that can take on defenders, cross the ball, and score goal from. Fatari Saku, when you give him the chance, he will just cut in and score the goals. That is where I'm expecting the young players to feature ball. And the defense and the midfield should be a blend of senior players and very young players.